Hey, what's going on? Thank y'all for tuning in to the Full Court Entertainment Podcast. As always, it's your boy Shondell GQ2s, and I got my man with me, Sneaky Sam, Shell. So I'm gonna just go ahead and start things off today, talking about James Harden and the whole fiasco that's going around him, the drama that's going around him. Um, I think with James Harden right now, I would say his trade value is relatively low. I would say James Harden's trade value is relatively low, and I think he's still trying to bargain with the team when he's not the same player anymore. Now, I think if this was like James Harden from 2018, 2019, that season where he played, he averaged 36 points per game, 6 rebounds a game, 7 assists, played 78 games. James Harden is not that James Harden anymore. Just last season, James Harden had averaged 21 points per game, 6 rebounds, 10 assists, played 58 games. Now that's still respectable. Definitely should be all NBA. But the thing is, Harden got a history. Harden reminded me of the pretty girl with the bad attitude. See, James Harden, he axed out of Houston because he wanted to go to a team that could win. He showed up and he was a hassle, a menacing, and training camp and practice said, I don't think we can win. We just aren't good enough. But then still in Houston, in 2018, they made it to the Western Conference, and him and Chris Paul fell out. They never had a good repertoire. And I can understand, Chris Paul had his hamstring injury, but they were right there, Western Conference. Then that summer, he demanded that Houston trade for Russell Westbrook. And if they didn't do it, that he would request a trade. So they bowed down into him. They gave out. They sold a little bit of their future for him. So what they did was they ended up making a second round, an early playoff exit with him and Westbrook. And I love Harden. But at the same time, I think that he has a history of just not being a person that can be satisfied. So then he finally get to Brooklyn. So Brooklyn sell a little bit of their future. They give up, they trade off Jared Allen, Karis LeVert, 3 first-round picks, 4 pick swaps. One of those picks ended up being Jabari Smith. So, that is what it is. I don't know how you rank him, but I think the dude has a promising future, and you never know what everyone should do. But I'm just saying, he was with Brooklyn for 13 months. And then he asked for a secret trade because this is the same Harden that started saying, I'm not feeling too healthy, I'm not too good. And he asked for a trade in secret. He didn't want the public turning on him by saying this. Then I got to hear this quote because he's in the same situation he was just in a few months ago. And trust me, I'm a Harden fan. I wanted Harden to win a couple of those MVPs over Curry. They offered him an extension. He didn't sign the extension that the Nets offered and said, nothing to worry about. I don't plan on leaving this organization in the situation that we have. So my focus, honestly, is just focus on the season, then winning championships. The contracts and all that stuff will bear itself out. But my focus is going to be locked on this season. 13 months later, he secretly asked for a trade from the organization. Okay. That's just ridiculous. So right now you get him in Philly. He wants to be on a team that's a chance of winning. He wanted the money. You can't satisfy Harden. I think if Harden was still 78 games, 36 points per game, somewhere close to that double-digit assist, yeah, he would have a lot of leverage in this situation. But I think it's like 3 reasons. I wrote it. It's 3 reasons. Philly wants to trade him. They do. But I don't think they can find a partner to do it. It's 3 reasons. You got to find a team that's willing to trade something to Philly that make them they can still win. 2, the team that's trading with them has to be willing to risk losing something because Harden, he's going to be a free agent this summer. You can't sign him to an extension. 3, he won a big contract. So it's really hard trying to pair that. And I think right now what I'm seeing with Harden is pulling the Kyrie. He's pulling the Kyrie. He's going to show up. This is not the first time because he didn't show up to training camp on time in Houston when he wanted out. What Harden is doing right now, I believe, he's showing up because in his contract, according to the new CBA, him declining that offer and going in he has to play until at least somewhere the first week of November. These issues are going to get brought back up, because if he doesn't just show up and hold out like Ben Simmons did, it's not the same. He will be restricted from being a free agent this summer, and Philly will control his destiny. So he has to play ball until November. So I think Harden, his trade value is low, and he's seen the repertoire that he's created for himself. So he has to play along. I think the situation, honestly, like, you can't satisfy him. That's just my take on Harden. What you got, Sheldon?
Your mic tweaking.
Oh, it sounds bad?
No, but it sounds like a little staticky. Like,
okay.
Not bad, but it's a little staticky.
All right, let me just switch it out. Let me see.
But now, though, with James Harden, though, like, I mean, I ain't gonna lie. Some of the reasons he's asking out, well, at least with the Nets, he kind of had a reason. I get it.
Wait, is my mic better now?
No, not really.
Okay.
No, say something.
Yeah, hello?
It's just a little staticky. We can get back though. All right, but James Harden, he had reasons. He had some reasons. Like, but if you say he should have like fought through those reasons, he could have. He with Kyrie, it was really about Kyrie, him not basically putting the team first, and he didn't want to take the vaccine. Yes, the vaccine, you can do whatever you want, but when it comes to this in a team sport, you got to kind of put the team first and not put yourself first. Kyrie chose not to put the team first. So he basically said, I didn't sign up for this. And he asked for a trade. Philly, I mean, according to reports, Daryl Morey told him they was going to give him the money. Lo and behold, he didn't get the money. So now he being petty. Daryl Morey getting petty. So it's like, I mean, if it was it's a man's commitment, and he didn't do it, and he didn't give him the money. But, I mean, do I think James Harden gets traded? I say 55% he gets traded.
That's pretty on the fence, bro. 55% that he does get traded?
Yeah.
So you're saying he's gonna get traded? Okay.
Yeah, I think he gets traded, and I think he's just gonna be a good player. He's gonna go. He's gonna play, do what he's supposed to do, because nobody wants a player that's going to potentially ask out. You're already on a 1-year deal, so I mean, everybody talking about they talking about, we don't need you, Harden. We don't, like, if somehow you don't get back into the league, we don't even need, like, the league ain't gonna miss you. And they might be telling the truth. If James Harden is in the NBA next year, we gonna be like, damn, Harden could have did this and this, but it's like, we move on. That's just how it works. We gonna move on. But James Harden, I think he's gonna play. I don't think he's gonna BS like how he was with Houston. I don't think he BS's, but I think he does play enough, and then he does get traded. I do think the Clippers are in play, though. I think they do trade him there. I mean, that's where he wants to go to, because I feel like, somebody wants Harden, bro. That's 20 and 10. Somebody wants him. They want to get him. It's kind of like in the same with the Dame situation. They want to get him. They want to get him to where he wants to go, but the offer is probably not right. But I think he ends up with the Clippers eventually. But so far, and during training camp, he's been there. He practiced. He missed first day, immediate day, but besides that, that's it. He's been doing what he's supposed to do. Show up, practice, play the games. That's it. That's all you need to do, bro. And you will eventually get traded. And then even if you don't get traded, if you play good and act right, maybe Daryl Morey even maybe they give you the max contract. It's just you didn't get it this year, but you could potentially get it next summer. Just act right, bro.
Yeah, I had comments on the Clippers too. I think with the situation with the Clippers and James Harden, I think right now the Clippers have more. They're in a good situation. They don't really have to trade for Harden. They don't have to. They get to bleed Philly dry right now. I think honestly that's what everyone's looking at. I think most of the people we're looking at James Harden contract. The contract says that your only leverage is that you have to play for Philly. I think what he's going to do. It's all speculation that he's going to say something is wrong. I can't play. I showed up. Like, he's going to show it. Like, the best way to get his trade value high, the only thing Harden can do, he has to go out and do something near that Iron Man triple-double Harden. He has to go out and play phenomenal. Then I think he's going to have some type of injury, a hamstring. I can't get out there. Medical reason. He needs medical to save him from playing, and put his worth high. And at the same time, I don't think the Clippers in a rush to trade him because it's like we got till February. Like, yeah, Harden wants to come here and we got till February. It's like, what does Philly want to do? So I think, man, I think Harden is just, he has to be more aware of his reputation and what he's created for himself. Like, because the NBA is a business. These organizations, they're looking at it like, well, you did this. If we're going to pay you, we're going to trade these assets for you. You can't do them like you did Brooklyn. You can't do them like you did Houston. I believe one of these picks that the teams traded away turned into Chet Holmgren, actually. I think the pick that the Nets traded away turned into Chet Holmgren. And we haven't seen Chet, and maybe he turns out to be great, nothing, but you still get these teams that are trading away their future for you, and you're not committed to them for what they asked for. Now you want a long-term contract. I mean, I feel it's the same situation with Kyrie Irving. Like, you want a big contract, but it's been a lot of off-court issues that have hindered you. So I wish the best for Harden. Honestly, I think Harden should just stay in Philly. I think he should just stay, bro. Just stay in Philly. You'll get the contract. The team's gonna work out. It's gonna come. Trust in what you said to the Nets organization. That stuff is gonna play out. Ball on the court, bro. Because ultimately you want to win. You want to win, Harden. If you didn't want to win, you would have just went to Houston. So that's all I got for that. You want to go ahead and just move in and talk about the Bucks and the Celtics?
Yeah.
I go ahead. You take it.
We saw last week, Bucks made a trade. They traded for Damian Lillard, obviously. Obviously, they traded Damian Lillard they traded Drew Holiday to get Damian Lillard. Celtics said, hold on real quick. We got to get your old point guard and Drew Holiday. I don't care what anybody says. Marcus Smart may be the heart and soul, but Drew Holiday is better than him. He's better. He's just a better player than him. He's not the heart and soul, but he's a better player than him. Yes, they gave up Robert Williams, Malcolm Brogdon. I don't think they will miss him entirely. He was always hurt anyway. He was 6 man a year, but I think they won't miss him that much. Now, Robert Williams, maybe, but he always got hurt too. So you basically just gave away a healthy point guard for 2 injured guys. That's basically what it was to me. And I like I said, I like the Celtics. I think they have the better team personally. If you want to say the Bucks have the better player, fine by me. I ain't gonna argue that. But I think overall they have the best team with Drew now. You got JT, you got JB, but the key is Porzingis. If he can stay healthy through forget the regular season. If he can stay healthy during the playoffs, they can win a championship. They can easily win a championship, and they are better than the Bucks easily. But I'll take that back. I ain't gonna say easily, but I think they are better than the Bucks. But they do have but the Bucks do have Giannis and Damian Lillard. Both teams have questions of depth, but I think the depth is way worse on the Bucks. I think it's way worse. But if I had to choose who's the best team in the East right now, it's definitely the Celtics.
You going with the Celtics? So my comments on let me just look this up right quick. I want to see how many games Robert Williams played last season. So Robert Williams played 35 games last season, which is not. No, that's not good. I wanted to try to keep it respectable, but you heard it in my voice, right? Yeah, that's not good. Malcolm Brogdon played 67. That's respectable, but not enough for like what his role like. Well, Malcolm Brogdon roles he plays for teams, 67 games isn't enough. Those 20-something games or 18-something games, well, that's a big part of the reason that you're there. I think when it comes down to the Bucks and the Celtics, like honestly, I mean, it was like we all knew Malcolm Brogdon was going to get traded. He was going to Portland. We knew Drew was going to end up in Boston. And it's so funny, and the irony of it is that like
I didn't know that. I didn't know he would end up there.
Oh yeah, well, I mean, I thought I was one of the people that like I speculated. You had a clip speculated too. I definitely thought that he would end up there. So it's just so funny that Drew Holiday ends up in Boston because he was one of those guys that was a hindrance, like that play when he rips the ball out of Marcus Smart, scores. Then you get another play, come right back. He throw it off of Marcus Smart. It's like the relationship between the two is just, it was so crazy that it ends up being Drew Holiday was the pain in their side. And now he ends up being a knife in the rib you use to get back at the killer that got you. So I think when it comes down to it, though, like Boston has the tools to sort of somewhat beat the Bucks. Only in the area of Dame. They have a better chance of beating Dame in that backcourt defensively than they have of beating Giannis right down in that front court. Because when you gave up Robert Williams and you gave up who the hell that? Well, you gave up Robert Williams. I thought they would have probably moved Al Horford, but I don't think the Bucks. I don't think
Al Horford.
Well, let me finish. So I don't think the Blazers do that trade if you keep Robert Williams. So they had to give him up. So in that same sense, it's like now they're depending on Porzingis. He still has that health concern. Al Horford, he just has age on his side. I mean, he does pop up and do a great job at what he does, but as we get older and things live longer, things don't get better when you get older. They deteriorate. I think that honestly, the Bucks and the Celtics, I'm going Bucks because what they gave up versus what they got back. I think offensively, Dame. If you switch out just that last play that eliminated the Bucks with Dame getting the ball, that changes the entire playoff. I think if you get Dame taking that last shot, not Chris Middleton passing it to Grayson Allen, not even getting it up before the shot clock, that changes everything. And I'm just a Giannis guy. I believe in Giannis. I don't think they have the tools anymore or the players that can sustain the 82 season to beat the Bucks in the playoffs. I think that honestly, the craziest part is the Celtics have the best chance of beating the Bucks in the 7-game series, but I still put my money on the Bucks. But at the same time, Denver has a better chance of beating the Celtics. It's kind of like a weird like UFC match. Like this person could beat this person, but can't beat that person, and this person could beat that person, but not this person. Because it's just like it just switches off so much. I think the Celtics, we're definitely going to see some really good basketball. And I do hope with this team going forward, we see a chip come out of it. Because I think Jason Tatum, I'm talking a lot, but Jason Tatum needs to go up another level. Because that first year with, what was his name? What's the coach name? The one that, the super religious coach that they got now?
Joe Mazzulla.
When Joe Mazzulla took over from Ime, it was a step down. It was a step down from all of their production. So it went from
Jason Tatum was a top 5 MVP candidate. What are you talking about? That was that statistical year.
Yeah. So great, all that. But I'm saying, let me finish. Now let me finish. So
what?
Jason Tatum, it's like the whole team took a step down after Ime was gone. It was like the defense went down, the intensity went down, but it was like we need Jason Tatum to step it up another notch. If the Celtics really want to win, it's going to take Jason Tatum stepping it up another notch. And because I think the biggest thing that showed with it was that like that whole game, and he saved his reputation, and he came back in the last like 8 minutes. That's something that kind of felt like it happened. Like he was disappearing, you didn't see him, and then boom, he turned up and make the playoffs, the reputation go back up. So I do think that it's gonna all depend on Jason Tatum getting to that next step.
Yeah, you gotta be more specific. Just say their defense, but not the overall team.
That's just my take. I mean, you don't have to.
No, that's just not true.
Yeah. So go ahead. What else you got?
That's not true though.
Yeah.
It's not true. But Jason Tatum, top 5 player. Jaylen Brown, all NBA player. I ain't gonna say Jason Tatum top 5. I meant to say top MVP, but top 10 player. Jaylen Brown, all NBA. Porzingis, really good defender. Al Horford, he's just a Giannis stopper, I guess, if you want to say that. Drew Holiday, all defensive team. They got the pieces. And a lot of people are saying this move with the Celtics is better than what the move that the Bucks did. I mean, I said it last week. I said the Bucks traded away deep. They traded away their defense for offense. Like I said, ain't nothing wrong with that. Damian Lillard, like you said, if it comes down to it, in that last second, because I mean Giannis missed 17 free throws. Dame's not gonna miss 17 free throws. It's just not gonna happen. But he takes the ball. Could he hit? Yeah, he could hit. Could he miss? Yeah, he could miss. But I like the acquisition of Drew Holiday better than Dame. I don't have a problem with Dame, but and people Dame and Giannis, they gonna do their thing, but it depends on Chris Middleton. If he can stay healthy and probably average at least maybe a low 20, 18, hey, we gonna see both these teams in the conference finals. But it's really gonna depend on them others on both teams. What are the others gonna do? Like Bobby Portis. After Bobby Portis, I don't know. The same with the Celtics. After Derek White, I don't know. I really don't know. But it's gonna depend on them others. The stars gonna do what they do, but it just depends. But if I had to choose now, I'm rolling with the Celtics. I think they just have. I think they're more. I think they just do a little bit more. I think they do a little bit more. I think their defense is better right now, at least, than the Bucks. Maybe last year different, but right now I think their offense, they can match the offense with the Bucks. They can match that. I think their defense just a little bit better. Like I said, their perimeter defense is gonna take a hit. It truly is. Like Dame, I heard Dame said, "Well, I can, I will take defense serious." Yeah, you can, but I haven't shown it sometimes. So Pat Connaughton, like I said, don't trust him on defense. But if Celtics can at least kind of create what they had in that defense in their first year with Ime, they'll be okay. The offense, I'm not worried about it. But the same with the Bucks. Just worry about their perimeter defense. Their perimeter defense is decent. They'll be all right. Their offense, I'm not worried about that. But you got Dame and Giannis in the half court, and like I said, it's going to be as good.
Yeah, I think. Well, you have more to say. I'm gonna cut you
No,
off. Yeah, I think honestly, I don't know if Jay Crowder, what's his situation going on with the Bucks. I think he's still with them. Honestly, I
no,
seen a
he's still on
picture.
there. He's still on there.
Yeah, I seen him in training camp practicing with them. So you got Jay Crowder, Cameron Payne, Bobby Portis. I like it. But go ahead. Outside of just the Bucks and the Celtics, right now we got someone that put out the topic. We got Shaky Trail. He said that he think the title's up for grab. What do you think about all the other teams in the NBA with their chances of winning a chip?
The title is definitely up for grabs. You got the Lakers, you got the Suns, you got the Nuggets, you got the Celtics, you got the Bucks. If you want to put Philly in there, fine by me. I ain't tripping. But are they championship contenders? They're in the middle. They're in the middle because they can be, but majority of the time they're not. So I could put them in there. Oh, and I mean, you can't sleep on the Warriors. As long as they got Steph, they're gonna always be in championship conversation. So yeah, the title is definitely up for grabs. I mean, because I feel like a lot of teams last year didn't like fear the Nuggets because a lot of teams was like, oh, the Nuggets, that could be the one team that could get upset by the Timberwolves. Obviously, they didn't get upset, but that was the one team. And I mean, even KD and Book gave them some go in the semifinals. If they just had a little bit more help, maybe they could have won. Who knows? But I don't think a lot of teams like fear the Nuggets. And realistically, if we're being honest, Nuggets lost a lot of depth. Nobody doesn't say it, but they did lose a little. They did lose some depth. You lost Bruce Brown. You lost Jeff Green. Those were key contributors to you going to the finals. Now you gotta depend on Christian Braun to really take that next step of really probably being the sixth man, and for him to come in his second year to basically be the sixth guy off the bench. I mean, I don't know. I think he's gonna play good though. That's a wait and see. I wish they could have kept Bruce Brown, but they didn't. But the title is definitely up for grabs. It's not. The Nuggets are still the reigning champs, but there's not a chance they repeat. We haven't seen a repeat team since the Warriors, so it's not guaranteed they repeat.
Yeah, that'll be real hard to do. Definitely haven't seen that. Yeah, I think Trail putting that question out there is the chip up for grabs. I think, yeah, the chip is up for. It's been up for grabs for a long time coming now. Maybe for like the last 5-6 seasons. Shoot, ever since like KD left the Warriors, the chip's been up for grabs. I I think when it comes down to it, Denver is still the best team in the NBA because right now there is no answer for Jokic. There is no real answer for Jokic. He's the best big at the game at passing. And we just seen in the playoff when you need him to score, he's going to do his thing. We've seen like Jokic and Jamal, they were the only team in NBA history to ever put up triple doubles, 30-point double doubles in the same series back to back. So I think honestly the chip is up for grab. They're just the league is in a healthy position right now. Like we're not seeing the same 3-4 teams win over and over again. So like if you're a fan of a team and they never won a chip before, you don't live in that generation where it's like, oh, their chances are absolute zero. Like no, their chances are good. If they have a roster that's able to go out there and compete and they're a respectable contender, you have a real chance because we just seen plenty of Cinderella stories this generation. We seen a team come down from 3-1. We seen a team come back from the play-ins to make it to the finals. We seen plenty of Cinderella stories, and the league right now is in a healthy position with multiple teams being able to win, not just the same three, not just the Celtics, not just the Lakers, and not just the Spurs. So I think right now, yeah, the chip's been up for grab. I would say probably the last 7-6 years.
Yeah, that's definitely true.
Yeah.
Spurs ain't really been competitive and probably really since Kawhi left.
Yeah, I think he messed that organization up for sure.
Did he really?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
I just feel like they just haven't gotten good players. I don't think he messed it up. I just think they just haven't gotten good players.
Mm-hmm. Well, I would say, go ahead.
No, I'm just saying, Popovich, he hasn't drafted no good players. Can't get nobody to go there. So it's like, what can you do?
Yeah.
All those people, all them superstars in our generation, they were all drafted. I mean, but he hasn't got nobody. So I don't think Kawhi messed that up. I just think they just haven't got nobody good.
Mm-hmm.
But they got Victor, so we'll see how that works.
Yeah. So yeah, I think Kawhi messed that organization up is because like you said, like these superstars that you get, they usually drafted. Like even just like I think the best part, you got the Lukas, you got your Donovan Mitchells, your Trae Youngs. So and they just got Victor. So it's like the Spurs were that organization where it's like they had a core and they were winning and redeveloping at the same time that young guys bring them around. Because Kawhi did get that Finals MVP against the Heat. And it was like, I don't think they ever planned that Kawhi was going to axe out. They always probably planned for Kawhi to be there. And whatever they needed, they were going to draft that, build around that, trade from that. And I think that Kawhi leaving, it disrupted that nucleus that they had because they knew like, okay, if we have Tony, we have Tim, Mono, we're gonna get everything else to the best capability that we can get for this. And Kawhi leaving, it disrupted that. It disrupted their growth. It disrupted their pattern. So I just think that if Kawhi were in the San Antonio Spurs, like they probably would have made some conference appearance, maybe a finals appearance, because it was a point when I think Pop said in the interview that he was like, we were up such and such amount of points and we had the lead on this. Zaza wrote and he sticks his foot underneath Kawhi. Now he was like, so I do respect the best coach of all time in NBA history and his remarks on that. I think that means something. But outside of that though, so we were going to talk about like NBA duos, top duos. What do you got? You ready to do your list?
Yeah.
All
right. So I'm going to just go from 10 up. Number 10, I have the Kings. I have De'Aaron Fox and Sabonis. I mean, they got one of the nastiest pick and roll handoffs in the NBA. They was one of the highest scoring offenses. I think they was the highest scoring offense in NBA history. So I got to respect them.
It was the Celtics last year, I think actually.
I thought it was the Kings.
Nah, I think the Celtics. It was like split by like 0.3, 0.2 decimal. It was like a 3-way tie. Denver, Boston, Sacramento.
Per game?
Yeah, it was split. It was like a 3-way split.
No, Kings had 120.
I had 120? Okay.
Boston was 7.
Damn. That was a big drop off.
But number 9, I got Luka and Kyrie. I mean, yeah, if you want to give Luka their respect, he's a top 3 player, top 5, whatever you want to call him. Kyrie, one of the best point guards in our league. Two, they can score. They both average. Luka averaged 30. Kyrie averaged 27. I think, and then and I hope we see I hope we see a full year of them. I think they can. Could they jump up the list? Maybe at the end of the year, probably. But as of right now, since I didn't see a lot of them, I'm gonna just put them at 9. Number 8, I put Paul George and Kawhi. When Kawhi plays, he's a top 5 player in the game. I don't care what nobody says. When he plays, he's a top 5 player. Paul George, he's a top 15 player when he plays. They're one of the best defensive wings. Maybe not back in their heyday, but they still can play good. They still play good defense. And then when they both on the court, they win games. Like you can't take that away. They win games when they're both on the court. So
Mm-hmm.
I put them at 8. Number 7, honestly, this was just respect. I put Steph and Clay. I feel like Steph, greatest shooter ever, best point guard in the game. Clay Thompson, one of the greatest shooters ever. He's kind of falling off defensive wise. His points are kind of falling off, but it's still the same. Still averaged 23 last year after missing last 2 years with the ACL and the torn and the Achilles. So he bounced back a little bit, but I kind of gave them respect. But it's really because of Steph Curry. 6, James Harden, Joel. They're definitely one of the best pick and roll duos in the league. James Harden averaged 20 and 10. Joel B was the reigning MVP, averaged 30 and 10. I mean, I don't know what more I can say about that. Jalen Brown and Jason Tatum at number 5. Out of all these duos outside of Steph and Clay, they have the more success. I was cool with that. But outside of them, and maybe even Jokic and Murray, but outside of them, Jason Tatum and Jalen Brown had more success together. They've gone to conference finals. They both were all NBA teams this year. Jason Tatum was a top 5 MVP candidate. Can't count him. You can't count them out. And Jalen Brown averaged 27. Jason Tatum averaged 30. Basically 2 people averaged 30. Number 4, I put KD and Book. KD, top 5. I think he's a top 5 player in the league still. He can get you 30 in his sleep. Booker, he's shown that he is probably the best shooting guard in the game. I think he probably is the best shooting guard in the game. He averaged 27, and a lot of people remind him of Kobe. Me personally, I'm not gonna say that, but a lot of people have. But that duo, they showed in the playoffs when they get it rolling, they're nasty. So they're number 4. Number 3 is LeBron and AD. LeBron, still the face of the league. AD, when he plays, he's a top 5 player in the league. He's the best defensive player in the league. LeBron still at 38 is giving you almost 30 points per game. But I wish I could have put them in 1, but I'm not gonna do that. But LeBron, AD, and number 3. Second, I did put Giannis and Dame. I did put them at 2 because I do think these are two teams. These are 2 players that both average 30. Do I think Dame averaged 30 again? I think he can. Do I think Giannis averaged 30 again? Yeah, I think Giannis gets 30. But that pick and roll in the half court is just I don't know what else to say about it. But Dame and Giannis at number 2 and number 1, I gave it to Murray and Jokic. They are the best pick and roll duo. They have the best big in the game. Jamal Murray is arguably top 10 point guard, top 8 point guard. And they won a championship off them 2. Jamal Murray balled out in the finals. Jokic did what he did. He basically averaged almost a triple-double in the finals. So I had to give them number 1 off of respect. So that's my top 10.
I respect that. I respect that. That's a real good top 10. You think at what point in the season do you think you'll probably change that?
I gotta wait. Maybe after the new year.
January, that's a good time. So let me just get a second to pull my list up right quick. I would say for me, my top 10 list. So going to number 10, I got this duo right here. One of these guys is averaging 28 points. The other one is averaging 21 points. One of them averaging 7 assists, 4 assists. Number 10, I got the Cleveland Cavaliers duo of Mitchell and Garland. I like them. I think we're honestly Donovan Mitchell was a dynamite. Darius Garland, he took a step down playing next to Donovan Mitchell. He did solve that problem for them, scoring more points, but it fizzled out when I seen them get put out from the Knicks. I thought they should have beat them. And because of that, I put them at 10. And number 9, I got the guys that put them out. One person averaging 24 points per game, the other one averaging 25 points per game and 10 rebounds. Jalen Brunson and Julius Randle, the Knicks, number 9 duo, for sure. Them guys right there, it's Jalen Brunson team. To me, it's Jalen Brunson team. He run the show. Like, he showed them boys, I'm not here to come and solve this. I'm here to get a chip and y'all coming with. I'm fucking with that. So number 8, this duo right here, they got 2 finals appearances. And I think, honestly, we probably see the peak pinnacle of this duo. And I think right now their championship window is closed. And I don't think it'll ever happen together. And I think one of them, possibly the big, will be traded off. And number 8, my duo is one person averaging 22 points per game, the other one averaging 20. Jimmy Butler and Bam Adebayo. I think the duo right there, they deserve number 8 appearance because honestly, they just remind me of one of them high school basketball movies where like the team wasn't that good. The coach came in, made them do homework, do suicides, and they made it to the chip. But I think honestly, the things that Miami need to bring in to make these guys win together, I don't think they'll get it with both of them being there. I think one of them will have to possibly be in a trade package. I think he'll be Bam. Because I do have speculations that Joel Embiid will be leaving Philly to go to Miami. And going to number 7, I got this duo because honestly, it's just the next hybridness of basketball. Speed, pick and roll, handoff. One averaging 22 points per game, the other averaging 25 points per game, the other averaging 19 and 12 rebounds. Sabonis and Fox. That offense is fast as Sonic with a ring. Then at number 6, I'm going with the boys down there in the South, Luka and Kyrie. And we get up here into my top 5. All of these guys in this top 5 are dangerous, deadly combos. These the guys you want to go see the game, your team playing against. Them tickets going up. Them prices going up. $200 a seat. Them prices going up. Number 5, they got a finals ring with each other. AD and Bron. I had to put them on this list because they've won a chip with each other before. You got to respect that. But there are a lot of negatives to it. I think LeBron James is still the torch carrier of the NBA and the Lakers. And I don't know if AD can actually get to that point to where it's like he can carry as much as what LeBron has been carrying. Because at this age, LeBron James played 55 games. AD played 56 last season. And it didn't feel like it. It felt like AD Street Clothes Davis played a whole lot less games. He did average 25, 12 rebounds. Bron averaged 28 and 8. I don't know if you remove LeBron James from this duo that the Lakers are still one of these teams that can actually win. I don't think they are. And I don't know if Anthony Davis is great enough to make up for the distance between him and LeBron to carry that. But I do respect them, so I got them at 5. And number 4, this team got 4 rings, one of the biggest nuisance of LeBron James' career. Steph Curry and Klay. And I got them at 4 simply because they won 4 rings with each other. They're winners. They do this. But age is a factor. Sports is a young man game. And it's already shown on Klay body. I don't know if he can keep sustaining these 82-game seasons. I think, though, honestly, the biggest thing that I would like to see is we're going to always say Steph and Klay, but I would love to see Steph and Wiggins. That's what it's got to be for me. So, number 3, this team has 3 Eastern Conference Finals appearances and 1 Finals appearance. You already know. Jaylen Brown and Tatum. Man, them guys right there, they special. All that shit we talked about them NBA fans, they need to trade. I was one of them guys, man. They need to trade Brown. They need to trade one of them. You got to respect that duo right now. What Boston have is special. And I know Boston is one of them cities that a lot of black people like myself be like, I ain't gonna live in Boston. But for a game, I'll go to Boston and watch them boys play. I'm messing with that. Number 2, honestly, I feel like I want to give it a half ring, half some conference finals appearance because Giannis and Dame is special. There's only one other person in the league that will probably play just as good, if not better, with Dame, and that's Steph Curry. You'll never get him because Giannis ain't going there and Steph ain't leaving. Steph and Dame. If Giannis was that damn good with Chris Middleton, man, I'm ready. Take my money, NBA. I'm ready to see what he do with Dame. I'm ready. That's number 2. And number 1, you got to respect the champs. Best finals dominance run since KD Finals MVP 2017. This team went 16-4 last year's playoff. 69 games played from Jokic, 65 games played from Murray, coming off the first season from an ACL tear, 20 points. Then you got the goddamn it back-to-back MVP, Jokic, 24 points per game, 11 fucking rebounds, 9.8 assists, and man, them boys nasty. You gotta respect it. Best playoff run since 2017, Jokic and Murray. Best duo in the league. You gotta respect the champs. And I think it's a reason why they didn't go out add many pieces to make up for what they lost. I don't think they mind too much for what they lost in Jeff Green. I don't think they mind too much what they lost in Bruce Brown. So best duo for me. That's my pick. What you got, bro? What you think about all this?
Where's Joel and James Harden? Where are they at?
I'm
Where's
not putting
Kawhi and Paul George?
I'm not
like you just didn't say these guys are better.
I got an honorable mention list. My honorable mention list is actually only one duo: Trae Young and DeJounte Murray.
So you think that duo is better than James Harden and Joel?
I mean, I think it's a lot of factors. I don't think that's not what I'm. They're not left off of my list because of those reasons. Honorable mention, though.
Then they are left off then.
No, but they're not. I said they're not left off. You gotta let me finish. They're not left off of my list because of those reasons that they aren't better than such and such. Paul George and Kawhi are left off of my list, honestly, because I think Paul George and Kawhi are the pinnacle of what Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum, are. I think that if we didn't see the factors of risk and missing games, they would mean something. But honestly, as a duo, Kawhi Leonard and Paul George, they've never played in a Western Conference Finals together. They went to a Western Conference Finals, but Kawhi Leonard never played in any of those games. I think that means something to me because when you say on paper they're the best team, but at the end of the day, NBA games aren't played on paper. They're played on the basketball court. And those guys simply aren't on the court enough for me. Joel and Harden, I'm not going to rank a duo off speculation. Maybe in the future they stay together in Harden, but I don't have my thoughts that Harden is going to be paired up with Joel, and they haven't achieved as much as any of these other teams.
What the hell have the Kings done?
I think the Kings broke a 16-year playoff drought.
But you just said that they haven't achieved as none of these other teams.
And I answered your question. I just answered your question. They broke a 16-year playoff drought.
They got bounced in the first, though.
They went to Game 7 with a team that won 4 rings.
First, though, it don't matter. They lost.
I answered your question. That's what you want. That's what you want to know.
In the first round.
Okay, but look.
But at least the Sixers lost in the second round in Game 7.
Okay.
So they got to at least be above the Kings. At least above them.
Okay, so
at least have them on the list is crazy.
I think what you're saying that that would make sense for your list, but for my list, Joel and Harden, it's been very underwhelming because one, I still remember how the defeatist attitude that Joel and B had playing in the playoffs. Then I remember just how James Harden only showed up for 2 games in that second round. To me, it was like they should have closed the Celtics out, and that duo didn't do that for me. The biggest thing that I seen with Fox and Sabonis, they came in. It was very, very few people that weren't laughed at for saying that what I said. I think the Kings are going to make the playoffs this season, and they did that, and they went against the defending champs in the first round. And I think that. If you would have put it back then, a lot of people were giving that series 6 and 7. And I was one of those people that said the Kings could win in 7. And they went 7 with a very, very beat-up Sabonis and an injured De'Aaron Fox. And I think that the Joel Embiid and James Harden, They showed me previously what they always do. Either their body's going to give up on them or mentally they can't weather the storm. And they should have closed the Celtics out and they didn't. And then you have off-court drama paired with that too. With Joel Embiid putting up the same drama atmosphere that surrounded Ben Simmons and Joel, James Harden is ruining a relationship between Philly and the 76ers. So I'm not putting a duo like that, not in GQ's top 10, but your reasons for leaving them off, putting them in yours, they're respectable. But for me, they haven't done enough to be within my top 10. Stats, numbers wise, you could put them up there, but this ain't based off just that.
I can tell. It's not just stats. You always been a Joel B hater. I've been knew that.
I mean, the basketball was based just strictly off of stats. A lot of these storylines won't even run. John Morant will probably be the best player since LeBron James. The storylines didn't run the NBA too.
No, okay. And what the hell? What did the Knicks do?
What the Knicks
do? You got one of the biggest playoff floppers in Julius Randle in there.
Hey, bro, I don't gotta keep explaining. I don't gotta keep explaining my top 10. This is my top 10. Bro. That's my top 10.
Hater. That's all I need to know. You a hater. You hate Joel. You hate that man. But it's okay. It's all right, bro. I just got a problem with at least them. Now, if you want to say Kawhi and Paul George, I ain't gonna argue with that. But Joel and Embiid definitely got to be in there, or at least over Jalen Brunson and Julius. Okay, no matter.
Yeah,
you a hater. You a hater. Bonafide hater, bro. But it's okay though. It's okay.
All right.
All right. You say you wanted to talk about fantasy basketball.
Yeah, go ahead. What you got? Go first.
Well, guys, we're doing our fantasy basketball league this year. We do it every year. As of right now, I have the 8th pick. Shondell has the 4th pick, I think.
Third.
He has the 4th pick.
I got the 3rd.
Apparently, I have a bad spot. I don't think I really have that bad of a spot. Me personally, I think I don't because I'm at the bottom. And if you get it, and I feel like if you're at the bottom, that's really a good pick. If you're at the top, that's a good pick too. It's just when you're stuck in the middle, I feel like that's a bad pick because it's like you got to get probably like the mid type of people, like when it gets to like them later rounds. But when you're like at the top and at the bottom, basically got back-to-back pick depending on where you at. Because all you gotta do is wait. Like me, I'm 8th. All I gotta do is wait for 4 other people, and then it's my turn again. And I feel like that ain't bad for me. I still don't know who I'm gonna pick yet. I have no clue. It's really just gonna depend on like who's there later in the rounds. But it's a 10-man league. Like it's fantasy basketball, and then it's gonna be a lot of like good sleepers. Like I know a lot of people say like Jordan Poole, they expect him to potentially average it, depending on how your league is set up, averaging like 30 high 30s fantasy points, maybe even 40 with him having the ball more in his hands. And they talking about he's gonna have the leadership role. He can take as many shots as he wants on that team. And plus, that team's not good anyway. Another player I was thinking of late in the rounds, I was thinking of a Shaedon Sharpe type player. I think Shaedon Sharpe is going to be really good fantasy because I don't know if they're going to start him now with Robert Williams because I think before Robert Williams, I think they was going to start him. But now I don't know if they're going to run the 2 big lineup or they're going to have Shaedon at the 3, then Robert Williams coming off the bench. But I feel like he's the 6. He's either going to start or he's going to be 6-man. So I can feel like if he gets enough playing time because he balled last year, them last like 10 games, he balled last year. And I feel like with a extended role, he can be definitely a sleeper fantasy pick. So I'm high on him in fantasy this year, honestly.
I didn't expect you to finish so fast. Caught me off guard. Eat my cracker. I'm gonna say for like fantasy basketball, if you've always been one of those people that wanted to play and you never played because you were just like nervous, scared, feel like you didn't know the sport enough. Oh well, just jump in the water. The only way you can learn how to swim is jumping in the pool or the ocean. So I would say, like, honestly, I always take the best person available. If you got that in that first round, take the best person available. Do not go after the most popular guy because The person that's popular always doesn't translate or correlate to the most productive person in winning in fantasy. So I'm gonna say a guy like this, Obi Toppin. Right now, Obi Toppin probably isn't that popular, but like his productivity and the ceiling that he has playing next to a guy that fits him well, Tyrese Halliburton in the Pacers, you're probably going to enjoy him on your team. I'm going to say someone that's probably not so popular. Well, let's say someone that is popular that probably isn't as productive as you need them to be. Patrick Beverly. Patrick Beverly is a very, very well-known name among NBA casual fans. But Patrick Beverly doesn't always correlate to points that you need in fantasy. So you need to think about like someone who like this where it comes from. The culture comes from like stat sheet, reading the stat sheets, the stat sheet nerds. Like you want guys on your team that's gonna correlate to points for you winning. I think if you get that first pick's not even your choice. It's always the best person available in the NBA. Right now, that first pick is Jokic. You have to go Jokic. Number two, Luka. You got to go Luka number two. Number three, I would say you could go maybe Joel or Giannis. I'm going Giannis. I'm going Giannis over that because one of the biggest factors you got to play in is games played. You need players on your fantasy team that are playing every day. You don't want players that are missing back-to-backs because your opponent, if they have more games but you have the better team and they got you beat by like 15 games, 10 games, you're going to really need a very talented team to beat them. So you want to go after someone. That first pick, I'm going to go Jokic. Second pick, I'm going Luka. Third pick, Giannis. Fourth pick, Joel. Joel's been up there. Now, you would probably think, oh, Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis missed a lot of games. You want these guys that first round pick, the people that's playing 70 and up games. That's what you want. A late 60 at max if you get in that first round. So I mean, right now we got Shai Gilgeous-Alexander very high up, and I do think that he's still pretty young. Numbers going to be amazing. So I think right now one of the biggest things you need to look at. Games played, don't be fooled by popularity. Look at the numbers. And three, I already said it. So, yeah, those are two things, honestly, you need to look out for.
And do mock drafts. Mock drafts help, honestly. Because mock drafts are really, they're really for to see, like, where these players are going to be. Because depending on your spot, these, like, just a player like if you want like a Patrick Beverly or something, okay, Patrick Beverly is gonna be in this round always, no matter what. And you just get the feeling of okay, if I do this mock draft, all these players that I've been looking at, they all gonna be there, they're all gonna be available. Nobody might not take them, somebody might not even know about them. But do mock drafts. I say do some every day. I do mock drafts every day, honestly, because it helps. It helped with my fantasy football too. Basically, every person I drafted in fantasy football, and when I was doing mock drafts, I basically got it in my real draft. So I say do mock drafts. And honestly, like, it depends, like, you really draft, like, the best available player. Like, it depends. Like, Dame and AD, Dame might play more games, but AD is just better than him. So just depending on where your spot is, you most likely go to grab AD. He just does more, and he's just a better player in fantasy-wise. But if you draft Dame, there's no problem with that because he's probably going to play more. Well, he's been hurt the last couple of years, but he does play more than AD. But majority of the time, you draft the best available. Majority of the time. It just depends on where you're at, though. If you're, like, in the bottom, you basically draft, like, the best available. You draft really the best available, honestly. But it really just depends. But like I said, I'm stressing everybody to do mock drafts. I'm telling you, do mock drafts. They help a lot. They help a lot.
Yeah, I'm gonna say going just piggybacking off of that is that like honestly, it depends too. So like if you make your first pick go center. Because right now in this generation of basketball, there's not that many good centers. Your first pick should be a big. What you think about that, Sheldon? You think it should be a big or what?
Depends on what pick. You talking about just the first pick?
Yeah, your first pick.
I mean, Jokic is the best player, so yeah. I mean, that's just by default. So it kind of that. I mean, it just depends. Like if you're in the fifth, when like Giannis, Jokic, Joe Embiid, they'll be gone by then. At that point, you just draft the best available player, probably like a Jason Tatum. or maybe a Shea at that point. But don't go after like AD is good, but he shouldn't be like your first pick. I think he's in like the maybe low first round, second round, most definitely second. Most definitely.
Yes, AD
At
is a
that
second
point, you
round.
definitely draft like a Curry, maybe a Jason Tatum, something around there. That just depends. But the first four picks is locked. It doesn't really matter. It's gonna be Luca, Embiid,
Giannis,
Giannis, and Jokic.
Giannis,
Those are
yeah,
the
yeah,
first four, no
yeah.
matter what. It just depends on what the order they
Yeah,
go in. But
you know,
those are
if
the
you don't,
first
if
four.
yeah, if you don't get them first fruit, you know those guys they're not going to be on the board, so they're not available. So I'm saying like, so I particularly go at the centers, power forwards, because like it's not just fantasy isn't just strictly one position. Like if this person only play, it does happen though. Some players only play one position, but I would say like you don't you want to go at the positions where it's like okay, it's plenty like guards right now. There are plenty of guards in the league that have the same productive numbers, but aren't as popular, aren't as well known. So don't go in thinking, oh, I got to get a really, really good point guard. You're going to be able to find a guard. You need to be focusing on right now, if it's your first year of fantasy, make sure you got a solid big. You want a good point power forward. You want a good center. Then you could go into like the shooting. It's not that many good shooting guards out there. Honestly, it's really not. So you want to make sure you get a good shooting guard, good small forward, and then guard. That's my priority list. But that's all I got for like fantasy tips. Did we have any other topics we want to talk about today, or that was it? That's pretty much it for full court, right? We ran our press.
Uh, yeah, that's actually it. First NBA game was today. Timberwolves they beat the Mavericks.
Oh yeah, they played in Dubai.
It was 111-99. This one Anthony Edwards didn't play. Luka and Kyrie played. Luka had like 25 in the first half. I don't take nothing into that though. That's preseason. I don't take nothing into that.
Was Kyrie? Kyrie was there too, right?
He didn't play that much though. He played like 14 minutes, I think. I think Luka played like 17, I think, off the top of my head.
It makes sense though. It makes sense though because Luca didn't do anything this summer but train. He stayed in physically good conditioning. Kyrie he didn't do it. He does the same thing every summer. But like Luca's like he's getting into that phase where he's taking basketball more serious with his life. So and it's like yeah, he like I expect a big season because honestly, if you look at the pictures of Luca, he in better shape. Like he lost that hard body fat that's hard to lose. Like that fat that's right here and right here. He like his face is thinner. If you losing fat in your face, that means you've lost it in the rest of your body already. So that's a good sign.
Uh, they started Derek Lively, their rookie. I was actually shocked they started him. He played 15 minutes. He had 5 boards, 2 points, but we're not asking him to score. And they actually started both their rookies, honestly, over guys like a Maxi Kleber. Tim Hardaway didn't play. Steph Curry came off the bench. Josh Green, he played 18 minutes, but he really didn't do nothing. Jaden Hardy. A lot of people are high on Jaden Hardy. He had 13 points, 3 boards. No, 3 assists, my bad. But I was shocked they didn't start Rashawn Holmes out. I mean, if they start Derek Lively, that might be better, but I don't have a problem. But I mean, the Mavericks, like I said, they'll be a top four. I think their ceiling is top four. Their floor is probably like 6, 7, around there. But they can definitely. I don't think they'll be number 3 or 2 or 1. But I just like the moves they made. But I think they can be top 4. But if I had to choose, they'll be a 6 seed. Right.
You reminded me of something. I do think those rumors circulating about the Mavs going after freaking Robert Williams and who else
Where
they were.
did you see that?
I seen it on Twitter. I seen some journalists write about it. A couple of basketball sites that the Mavs have been making offers for Rob Williams. So I do think if the Blazers are going to move Aiden or Rob Williams, I think they move Rob Williams simply because of health concerns. I don't think they want to pay a guy that's not going to be out there on the court right now. And it'll be no point. If they're developing players, they don't want a guy that's just sitting on the side, clapping and whatnot. They want a guy that's going to be able to be on the court, help these guys build chemistry, and them learn. So I do think Robert Williams, if he does get to the Mavs, that's a man. I mean, I think that boosts their. It doesn't boost their stock like to where they're like the favorites, but it make you take them a little bit more serious on the calendar. So I think that's pretty good for the Mavs.
So you think the Mavericks trade for an injured guy?
I mean, he's not injured right now, but I think the Mavs do it because the Mavs are one of those teams. They're a small market team. No one goes there. They roll the dice with Kyrie. Why not roll the dice with a guy that shows up, plays good defense? He affects the game without needing the ball. You have one of the two most ball. Well, Luka probably one of the top three most ball dominant guys in the league. You get a guy that can affect the game defensively. Robert Williams, great in the freaking post handoff and the pick and rolls right there. So that man's gonna he's gonna be on that radar for sure.
Who would you rather have, Clint Capella or Robert Williams?
Who would I rather have, Clint Capella or Robert Williams?
Who fits better too?
Who fits better?
Who would you rather have and who fits better?
I'm gonna go Robert Williams, honestly. I'm gonna go Robert Williams. I think the more popular answer would probably be Clint Capella, but I think Robert Williams brings so much more. Like what Robert Williams affects the game more defensively than what Clint Capella does. I think Clint Capella's biggest effect is probably rim protection and catching a oop. But I think even with Rob Williams, he don't even need to catch the oop to still be in his groove.
That's all you need, though. All you need is him to catch a oop.
Yeah, but I'm going. Yeah,
rim protection. That's what their biggest problem was.
So what are you going with?
I'm going. Clint Capella fits better. Do I think Robert Williams has more upside? Yes, I think he has more upside because I think when it comes to just offensive wise, I think he's better. But Clint Capella, you're not asking him. You're not going to ask him to go out there and post up and do a jump hook because Robert Williams, he can post up. But
I don't think they asked Robert Williams that either, though.
Robert Williams is more of an offensive player, though. He does post up, and he might demand the ball because honestly, looking at his stats, he really just hasn't played a lot. Like his best year was in 22. He averaged 10 and 9. But if Clint Capella, he's not gonna go out there. He's not going to go out there and ask for the ball. You just go out there and get 12 points, 12 rebounds, rim protect, and he rim rolls. I think that's what he's better at than Robert Williams. I think he's better at when it comes to the pick and roll with a Luka Doncic. I think when it just comes to them just in the pick and roll, I think Robert Williams isn't better than him at that. But Robert Williams I think he's better, just a better player. I think he's a better player. Like I said, I think he's as an upside. When it just comes to the fit, it's Clint Capella. I think Clint Capella fits better. Any cheaper.
Yeah, I'm going Rob Williams. I'm not gonna hold you. I like everything you said about Clint Capella, but for me, I'm going Rob.
And Robert Williams and Clint Capella doesn't get hurt too.
Yeah, I don't care about any of that.
So I'm taking a guy that doesn't get hurt.
Yeah, for sure. I respect your decision. I definitely feel everything you said was very valid in what you were thinking and evaluating. I'm just still holding down Robert Williams. I think Robert Williams, that's the guy for me. Yeah.
So the injuries don't matter, I guess.
I mean, I think all of that plays a part, but for me, it doesn't. It's not a factor that makes me say I'm picking Clint over you. I mean, I know everything about both the guys, what they bring to the game. I'm going Robert Williams for the Mavs. That's what I'm rolling with. Yeah. You got anything else? What you got?
No. Nah. Bro. Nah.
All right.
That's it.
All right, man. Thank y'all boys for tuning in to Full Court Entertainment as always. Make sure you like, subscribe, share with your group chats, comment. Yeah, all of that stuff. It's your boy, Shondell, and I got my main man with me, Sneaky Sam. So we gone.